You can use Google Slides to create a custom background in Jamboard. I like using Google Slides because the default size of the slide is the same as for Jamboard, so it makes it really easy to put it into Jamboard. So I created this template that I want to use as the background, and all you need to do is to save this as an image file. You can use a screenshot, but there's an option by clicking on File and then Download. And you can choose to use either a JPEG or a PNG. I'm going to use JPEG. Click on that and it will download the image to your computer, and then you can use it as a background in Jamboard. So now we're in Jamboard and we're going to use that image that we saved from our Google Slides, and we're going to use the feature where you can set the background. This is something that's new in Jamboard, that you can create your own background. So I'm going to use this right here, and I'm going to select that image that I downloaded, and it's recent, so I'm going to use the recent over here, and you'll see I've got a few to choose from. I'm going to select the first one, and so now I've got this background and I can share it with students. So what students will do in order to identify who is each of the group roles is they can put a Post-it, but I recommend using the text box here, and they can just click here and say, my name is Amy. If it doesn't end up quite in the right spot, that's okay. Remember that with Jamboard, you can click and drag and move it into a better spot. And then they can add Post-its for each of the different ideas that they want to add. And you can change the color of the Post-its. So click Save. And so I've got idea number 1. So let's say that's going to go in the relationships box. So I can add in as many Post-its as I want. Students can also type in, they could use shapes or insert images. But the most basic way of using this is just to insert Post-its into the space down here and use it as a group collaboration brainstorm type activity. So when you're using Jamboard with students, you'll need to remember to change the sharing permissions, because they need to be able to not just view it, they need to be able to edit. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to add Post-its or drawings or text to it. So you're going to start by giving it a name. So I'm going to just call it group collaboration. Click OK. And then when you go to share it, I'm going to use the button in the upper right-hand corner to share. And you can save it with specific individuals. Right now, notice that anyone in San Diego can view. We need to change this. So down here, again, you can identify specific groups of people, or you can just make it open for anyone who has the link. But you do need to make sure that you change it over here from viewer to editor. I know this sounds scary, but remember that we have the revision history that is a new feature coming out in Jamboard. So if a student accidentally deletes a slide or moves around something that you didn't want them to move around, or is a little bit naughty, you can always go back in and use the revision history to, number 1, see who it was that made the change, and also to take the Jamboard back to the place where you want it to be.